Now, the chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee is Michael McCaul, and he joins me now. Congressman, is the Biden policy, is it the right thing to do with the Houthis and Iran at this point?
Well, you know, they've had 160 strikes on American forces in Iraq and Syria. Very little deterrence. After the American soldiers were killed, it was time, very overdue time. These were good strikes in Iraq and Syria, IRGC, Yemen. I would argue, why telegraph this 7 days in advance? That gave the IRGC time to move out of the area, take their assets. So I think the success of the strikes, while the targets may have been good, the success was not very good. Now, you remember we took Soleimani.
You don't think we could beat the Houthis like this?
But the Houthis responded within the next day.
It said we can't.
And they're
going to keep going.
That is not deterrence. I think you need a decisive strike, just like Trump did with Soleimani. Remember, he was criticized, but they didn't telegraph it. They took Soleimani out, and guess what? Iran backed down. That's why I support, we need a Trump back in the White House.
Yes, but do we need a direct strike on some kind of Iranian asset, whether it's the oil facilities or the Navy or whatever, a direct strike? Do you think we need it?
The packages are there. I would, if I were the administration, back channel to the Ayatollah. One more American serviceman's killed, we're going to hit you inside of Iran. Make it clear.
We might be doing that now. I mean, that's entirely possible.
It could escalate to that, yes.
Okay. The border bill, it looks like it's not going to get through, and it contains money for Ukraine and Israel. Are you worried, as a Foreign Affairs Committee chair, that Ukraine won't get the money it needs?
No, I think if the border bill dies, I think it's the Republicans in the House believe the president has enough executive authority to change the situation overnight, return to the policies of the prior administration, Trump, that were working, like remain in Mexico. That's not in this bill.
But he won't do it.
But he won't do it.
No, he won't
do it unless Congress tells him to do it. But even if we passed a law, would he do what we told him to do? I think that's part of the issue here. I don't see a lot of support in the Senate for this. I do, admire Lankford for trying to do something, and there are some good aspects. But the political asylum reforms are not adequate for House Republicans. Therefore, I think that's probably dead on arrival. And then you're looking at probably Israel, Ukraine, countering China, Indo-Pacific bill.
Are you determined to get some help for Ukraine somehow or other in the immediate future?
Yes. I don't think the administration's handled this well. However, if we abandon our NATO allies in Ukraine, like Afghanistan, we only embolden our adversaries like Putin, like Chairman Xi in Taiwan, and the Ayatollah. It makes us weaker, not stronger as a nation.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Intel is delaying construction on that $20 billion chip-making project in Ohio. Now, Congressman, you were the author of the CHIPS Act. What's the problem in Ohio? Are we competing in the chip market with China?
Well, the whole point, idea was brought to me by Secretary Pompeo. Pull supply chain out of Taiwan through incentives, both tax incentives and grants. The administration, Commerce, has been a little slow in enacting this with a grant program. I would urge them to speed up the process. The idea that Intel is going to slow down the manufacturing of the fab plants in Ohio is concerning, because after the Taiwan election, the PRC candidate did not win, and that means the odds of them doing a blockade in Taiwan, cyber attack, TSMC, 90% of the advanced global manufacturing of chips is in Taiwan. They own or break that, it's game over.
Got it. Congressman Mike McCaul, chair of the Foreign Affairs Committee of the House, thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Stuart.
Always appreciate it. Thanks.
Always.
And welcome to New York, by the way.